Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first podcast made in the language of the English, that is, the English language.
Yeah,
I am,
or so-called the internet language.
yes, the global language.
Yeah.
I am Uncle Green, and this is Uncle Blue, and we are going to talk about none other than the great presidential candidate of 2016, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, the wonderful Donald Trump, or I mean, I can't even understand. I'm from Sweden and I know so much about Donald Trump. I mean, I can't even imagine why, actually, because he's not that interesting. But okay, let's
Well,
start.
yes, if we're going to start with the simple things, we can begin with the fact that Donald J. Trump is a man with an intensive media coverage. He
Mm.
gets a lot of interviews, he gets a lot of press, and he has a lot of publicity on the internet. And this only helps him in his cause. It only makes him more popular, more likable, and more, well, interesting, to say.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If you look at the polls, every time he says something weird, something stupid in media, or something extreme, the polls goes up. I mean, it's. I mean, we are both political scientists, and I am baffled about Donald Trump. I have never seen anything like that, especially not in the American election.
Yes, and to speak about being scientists, we're not scientists in that manner that we have a lab. We're scientists in that manner we have both a bachelor's degree in political science,
Yeah.
and I can add my hat into the ring, and I can say simply that when it comes to the phenomena of the Trump, the one who can't be stumped, it's that he is quite a definition of an attempt to create a controlled opposition. I think either the Democrats or the Republicans wanted a candidate that was so extreme, so far out there, to potentially attract voters to different candidates. For example, if you're a Republican and you're a bit on the fence on who you should vote for, and you wonder, should I let Jeb Bush get the chance? I don't know. He's a bit of a moderate. He's quite democratic in some questions, but then you see Trump and how extremely Republican he is, how special he is. And then you might consider, okay, I might vote for this candidate instead. But this strategy has sort of backfired because Trump is so extreme, so far out there that he is attracting his own core. He is creating his own cabinet of supporters.
Yeah, but it's quite liberal too. If you look back at his political history or his opinions he has said in different TV shows, I mean, some liberal views he has had, and sometimes I think I've seen one interview. He's asked if, "Why are you not a Democrat?" I don't know. He doesn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, but that can be, we
Yeah,
can
he
attribute,
can just be goofing around. I know.
but we can attribute that to the fact that America has a really special system. There's only two big political parties, and there's not a lot of leeway between them, and they're actually quite alike in a lot of questions, but some questions they're very far apart, like taxation, representation,
Mm.
or abortion. Now, if we go back to the man himself, the Trump, as he is called, he has succeeded where a lot of other politicians fail, and that is in creating a public persona, an image of the Trump. Now, having a great political image is not a guarantee for a victory. We could see that with Al Gore.
Mm.
But I think it's very important that we all realize that the Trump is quite powerful. He's quite liked. I think he has somewhere around 40% of the Republican vote.
Yeah.
And if he keeps going like this, he will have a shot at becoming president, and that's a scary thought.
Yeah, he's quite strong leader in that matter that he knows media. He knows how it works, and you have no problems talking in a debate, and he's very good at that. But he has some other issues about politics, but we can take that later. Yeah.
Well, the Trump does have some extreme policies. For example, the
Yeah.
wall he's going to build against Mexico,
Yeah.
or the 11 million people he wants to deport. But
Hmm.
I think it's very important for us to consider the fact that he gets support for this, and he gets a lot of views, he gets a lot of votes, he gets a lot of confidence, and I think that's because his opinion is unheard of. No,
Or,
no one
or,
has.
or it is his own opinions. It's not some rich millionaire who contact him and, oh, I will pay you 5 million and then you will support me. Or
Well, technically, he is the rich
yeah,
millionaire.
yeah, yeah, exactly. He is the ones, and that's quite interesting that he is like complaining about that Bush. I have given him millions before, etc. But he is actually he's a hypocrite, etc.
Well, a
Exactly.
lot of people are
Yeah,
hypocrites. A
yeah,
lot of politicians are hypocrites.
yeah.
And I think it's quite clear that Trump is not a politician. He is a businessman.
True.
And if we have a bad fortune, he will very likely go in, do his thing, and then give up politics. I don't know if he becomes president. I think it's very unlikely that he will stay the whole term.
Yeah, I know that has said if he will run against Clinton, then he will lose. I don't know if that's true. I mean, it depends on how the debate will be and how the debate in media will occur. But I mean, I don't know. We have to wait. He has to win first.
But do you think that if we go to look at Hillary, because I think there's an interesting parallel we can make with Hillary,
Hmm.
I think it's interesting to see that Hillary is a bit of an antithesis to the Trump. He is quite the different candidate. She's quite the different candidate because where Trump is very out there and provocative and makes people gasp in amazement at his statements. If you compare it to Hillary, she's very quiet. She's quite conservative in her way of speech. She is likely going to get into the Democratic primaries just because she's herself. She's not really upsetting anyone. She's playing her role.
Yeah, and I mean, she's almost changing her political views according to some kind of political, um, yeah, what will help her in her candidacy. And hypocrite again, almost. I mean, that's a problem, I believe. But I mean, it's almost always like that in the political election.
Yes, when it comes to politics in general, we always have the candidates who can be seen as turncoats or those who are very peculiar in the way they vote, how they represent themselves. It's not going away.
I mean,
It's
the problem with Hillary is that people are all only talking about that she's a woman. She's the first woman. She will be the first woman in.
in the White House.
Yeah, I mean, and that's actually what they are talking about in Sweden.
Mhm.
The only thing, does people know in Sweden about her political policies, etc., her economical, financial policies?
What are her views on welfare? Well, we don't know because the only thing we care about is that she's a woman.
Yeah, we already know about Obamacare, but that's Obama. I mean,
Yeah, Obama. But I do believe that.
and we know that Trump hates Obamacare, but that's something different.
Yeah, that's a different story for a different time.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Trump, I think it's very clear that he is popular. He has a presence. He's a businessman, so he knows how to work around. And
Yeah.
he keeps winning debates because he never really discusses politics. He's quite eager to discuss persons, attack someone's integrity or discuss someone's history. He's very rarely going to discuss policy. He discusses people.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's an episode of Apprentice.
Oh yeah, you're fired.
Yeah, he's almost like standing there and Bush, you're fired. I mean, almost like
Get
that.
out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. I mean, like, your candidacy or is your campaign, that's just crap. I'm the one. I'm the big deal. And I mean, you have to love to some extent this way of telling people that I'm the world greatest.
Yeah, he's quite confident.
Yeah,
But
and it's very typical American election actually, and it fits into the kind of political debate or the political climate they have in USA. That approach would be impossible in Sweden.
yeah, quite. It would be quite hard for people to. Yeah, it would be quite hard for people to make it like they do now.
Yeah.
But getting to the topic, I want to take one last thing, and that is that the Trump has some incredible presence on the internet. There's a lot of videos about him. There's a lot of music about him. He has a big cultural imprint. And if you compare him to Hillary, she has nothing. He has everything.
Yeah, there are so many memes. There are so many gags. I mean, there are so much about Donald Trump. If he makes a YouTube video, it will get 100,000 or 500,000 views directly. I mean, it's really amazing.
Yes, and this might be his blessing or his downfall, because it might be that his support is inflated, that he is popular on the internet but not in America where it matters. And it could also be that in the end, he simply could not have enough people. He could not have enough support on his hands because all the people that, enjoy him and his policies are not Americans and therefore unable to vote for him.
Yeah, of course, it will be very interesting if he wins and will be competing against Hillary or Bernie Sanders or etc. It will be.
Bernie Sanders will never get a chance to be a president.
No,
read my non-existent lips. If Bernie Sanders does make it into the main, candidacy, if he beats Hillary, I will personally make a video on this channel where I sing the Trump song.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's covering all of it. That the Trumpster is very popular on the internet. It might not be enough to get him into the primaries, and if he does make it into the general election, he's going to face Hillary, and he is her antithesis because he's very outspoken, very popular on the internet, very in your face, while Hillary is quite the opposite.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting election to see, because I think if those two, Hillary and Trump, were to have a debate, Hillary would be unable to win. She would get smashed unless she would use the same arguments as him, if she would attack his person.
Or I mean, it depends on what they will debate. If they are debating politics, I believe Hillary will win.
Well,
but I mean, Trump will not allow her to speak about politics. But still, I mean, it depends on if it's a Fox News debate, if it is a CNN debate.
Yeah,
they are quite different.
Media is quite peculiar.
Yeah.
But with that, I believe that we have covered enough about the Trump, and hopefully we won't have bored you. Yeah. And if you'd like to hear more content from this channel, you can just leave a comment and we will record more.
Yeah, and our first video in English, that's quite amazing.
That's quite amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe that we made a good video.
Yeah, I do think so, too.
Well, we best get out of here before Trump catches us.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.